Today we are talking, or we will discuss together about qualitative data analysis. So what's the meaning of qualitative data? Qualitative data is data in the form of words. If you remember quantitative, it was data in the form of numbers, symbols. But here it is in the form of words. For example, interview notes. When you go to do an interview with somebody, you take some notes. So this is qualitative data. Transcripts of focus groups. If you have meeting as a focusing groups, then everybody will write his comments. Answers to open-ended questions. We talked in the previous lectures that we have two kinds of questions, which are closed-end questions and open-end questions. And we say that open-end questions is subjective. Everybody can give his own answer. But for the closed-end, it is objective. He has to just choose one answer. Transcription of video recordings. Also, video recordings is a kind of qualitative data. If you go to monitor something, to take a video, so this is considered also kind of qualitative data. Not only video, it could be also audio, recording audio. Accounts of experiences with a product on the internet. You follow something on the internet, see how the behavior is that account on the internet, news articles, and the like. So everything in the form of words, even as a sound or a video, is considered qualitative data. Okay? So how we are going to analyze this qualitative data if our research involves dealing with qualitative data? The analysis of qualitative data is aimed at making valid inference from the often overlapping amount of collected data. So when we collect qualitative data, we will get a huge amount of words as a collected data. So how are we going to get a valid inference? Because we don't need all these words. We just need to get some useful information from these words. So we have to draw some valid inference, okay, from the often overlapping amount of collected data, huge amount. You cannot deal with this huge amount of data. If you do an interview with somebody, then maybe he can speak for 1 hour. So try to imagine how many words he said. So how we are going to get a valid inference from this amount of collected data? This is the most difficult thing that we need to understand about qualitative data. If we go back to quantitative data, analysis was very easy. Just get these answers, code the numbers, and just use any statistical tools like SPSS, and just do the analysis. You can draw the inference that you want to draw. Okay? But here is quite difficult. So we need to go through some steps to get valid inference from this huge amount of collected data. The first step is data reduction. Second step is data display, and after that, drawing and verifying conclusions. So the first step is data reduction. How to reduce this huge amount of data. How to get only the useful things that we need
to collect them.
Yes, to get an inference from them. It is the most useful things. And we need also to display them and to draw and verify some conclusions. How are we going to do the data reduction? different from the coding used in quantitative data. Quantitative data is easy to code the data, but here we need first to do the analytic process through which the qualitative data that you have gathered are reduced, rearranged, and integrated to form theory. So this is the task of coding. Reduce the data, rearrange them, and integrate it to form theory. In these slides, or from this book, it is very, there is no examples in the slides, but you can find some examples in the book. But I have also another slides. Some slides I will show you after we finish this. We have some examples to show how to reduce, how to code. So by the examples you can understand well. So we just finished now these principles. So all these are just definitions or principles for qualitative data. So coding is used in order to reduce, rearrange, and integrate the data to form the theory. We have also in data reduction what we call categorization, is how to organize, arrange, and classify coding units. After we do the coding, then we will go different type of coding. So how we are going to categorize them, to classify them, to make different categories or different classes. Data display, taking your reduced data and display them in an organized, condensed manner. This is just a display. After you do the categorization and coding, you just display. In terms of, these are the examples that you will use to display the data. For example, you use charts, any kind of charts, matrices, diagrams, graphs, frequently mentioned phrases, because when you analyze the words or the recordings or maybe the interview words, you will find some frequently phrases. So these frequently mentioned phrases may be used. Okay, maybe we can infer something from these repeated phrases. Okay, so it is more important than other phrases, and or drawings. Also, you can draw by your hand. Okay, so these are the ways that you can use to display the data. After that, the last step is drawing conclusions. At this point, when you answer your research questions by determining what identified themes stand for, by thinking about explanations or observed patterns and relationships, or by making contrast and comparisons. So this is the conclusions that you get. You will see what are the relationships, what are the observed patterns. You can observe something. You can notice that there are some patterns in the data. So these observed patterns maybe show something or tell something. Relationships, or the contrast, or the comparisons, all these things you can draw from the data after you display them and you categorize and code. So all these things are just concepts on the steps that we are using to getting the feel of qualitative data. Also in qualitative research we have reliability. We need to be sure that the qualitative data is reliable. Here we have what we call category reliability. It depends on the analyzed ability to formulate categories and present to competent judges definitions of the categories, so they will agree on which items of a certain population belong in a category and which do not. This is according to this person, to this author, 1977. Very old statement, but it's very important. How to get the reliability for the category, to check the items and agree which items of certain population belong to category or do not belong. Inter-judge reliability can be defined degree of consistency between coders processing with the same data. If we code data in different terms, so there should be consistency between the coders, and this thing is considered also reliability for qualitative data coding to the same author. See, this is the academic writing citation. You write the statement, and after you write the statement, you put the citation. You will use this in your literature review when you report something. Sometimes, if you don't want to rephrase, you just put inside double quotations. So inside double quotations is the talking of this person. Exactly. Yes.
If you refer to
just copy and paste and put in quotations. Because this is like definition.
Yes.
Category reliability. But here it's not in phrases, because the one that he rewrite it, he rephrase it, can be defined degree of consistency between coders processing the same data. Just put the citation. So these statements or sentences are getting from this source, but it's not exactly.
maybe about your concept or
You rewrite it, you rephrase it.
yes.
You say what you mean. What you
But in this one, you didn't write the page number like this. B13.
maybe this one is citation style, and this one is a different citation style.
Right.
It's okay. Because this is just about one slides, but when you write your research report, you need to be consistent. Either use this one or this one. But usually we use this one. We don't refer to the page number in text citation.
Because we did a quotation, so we
Yeah.
have to refer
Maybe.
to the page. And the other one could be to the pages.
Maybe. Even it's not necessary. Even if it's in quotations, it shouldn't be put page number. Also, this is about the validity, what they mean by the validity. We have two types of validity, which is internal validity and external validity. Validity refers to the extent to which the qualitative research results accurately represent the collected data. So this is the result of the analysis. If it represents the collected data in accurate manner or accurately, so it is validated. Okay? This is what they mean by internal validity. Can be generalized or transferred to other contexts or settings. This is the external validity. When you validate something, so you are going to tell it is accurate for such situation. So it is validated. This is internal validation. But the external validation or external validity is the generalization. If this analysis or this kind of data can be transferred to other contexts, to similar problems in other contexts or in other settings. So if it is transferable, if it is generalizable, so we will say that this qualitative research has external validity. So all these things are just concepts about qualitative data. We will go through different slides also, but with examples. I didn't upload in the website. This one. I will upload it tonight. So the outline of these slides is talking about qualitative research, what are the analysis methods, and if we get some time, we will go through the validity and generalizability, because it is around 70 slides, 70. I like it because give some examples. So, what we mean by qualitative research methods, this is also to make the information in your mind stable. We have interviews, we have observation, we have field deployments, we have participatory design sessions. All these kinds, or we have contextual interviews, we have ethnographic interviews, we have ethnographic observation, all these things. The result of all these things can be considered as qualitative research. So what's the qualitative research goals? How people see, the meaning is how people see the world. Because it's most about interview and observation. And so how people see the world. Context, the world in which people act. We need to understand the world. Process, what actions and activities people do. Reasoning, why people act and behave the way they do. This is the most important thing, reasoning. Okay? Logic and reasoning. Why? So this is just a comparison between quantitative and qualitative. After this comparison, you shouldn't ask any question about what's the difference.
Yes.
Okay, just see. Quantitative means explanation through numbers. Qualitative explanation through words. Quantitative, objective. Qualitative, subjective. Quantitative, deductive, reasoning, because we conclude something from the data. Qualitative, inductive reasoning. We read the word, we understand the word. It is not deductive. It is not based on some mathematical equations or some statistical equations. We get it from how people deal with the world. So it is inductive reasoning. In quantitative, we have predefined variables and measurement. We can measure. But in this qualitative, it is creativity, extraneous variables. Variables that you cannot measure. Okay? Variables you cannot exactly say what they mean or say what's the degree. For example, the level of satisfaction. You cannot give it a precise. Yeah. Data collection before analysis for the quantitative. Data collection and analysis intertwined. Together. You collect the data and you analyze what people do. So it is not separated. Cause and effect relationships, but in qualitative it is description or meaning. What does it mean? Or what does it tell us? Okay, but here we have cause and relationship. As we said yesterday, as we showed yesterday, we have independent variable and we have dependent variable. So independent is the cause, dependent is the effect or the result. But here we have description, meaning something that you can write about. It is not just a value. Okay? Understood? So getting good qualitative results depends on the quality of data collector. Okay? The way that you collect data. The quality of data analyzer and the quality of the presenter or writer. All these three things will play an important role in the goodness of qualitative results. If the data is collected anyway, and we don't care about how we collect the data, then the analyzing the data, the writing, will depend on the collection. Okay? So the quality is governed by data collector and also the quality of data analyzer. The person or the people who should analyze this kind of data should have a good reasoning, good logic, okay, to judge